Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Gaurav Sharma, and with me is Manoj Singh Rana, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment, and more. The headlines. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi appeals to eligible people to take COVID-19 vaccine, says it's a matter of honor that India is running world's largest vaccination program. India supplies over 2 lakh Made in India COVID-19 vaccines to Denmark for UN peacekeeping personnel. Bangladesh Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal warns of stern action against people carrying out attacks on government establishments and private property. UN Special Rapporteur Tom Andrews has called for an international emergency summit on the situation in Myanmar. Salvage teams taking measures to dislodge massive container ship blocking the Suez Canal. And in cricket, India win the ODI series against England 2-1. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all the precautions, and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now, the news in detail. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appealed to everyone to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Sharing his thoughts in the Mann Ki Baat program of All India Radio on Sunday, Mr. Modi said it's a matter of honor for everyone that today India is running the world's largest vaccination program.
पिछले साल इस समय सवाल था कि कोरोना की वैक्सीन कब तक आएगी। साथियों, हम सबके लिए गर्व की बात है कि आज भारत दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम चला रहा है। वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम के तस्वीरों के बारे में मुझे भुवनेश्वर के पुष्पा शुक्ला जी ने लिखा है। उनका कहना है कि घर के बड़े बुजुर्गों में वैक्सीन को लेकर जो उत्साह दिख रहा है, उसकी चर्चा मैं मन की बात में करूं। साथियों, सही भी है। देश के कोने कोने से हम ऐसी खबरें सुन रहे हैं, ऐसी तस्वीरें देख रहे हैं जो हमारे दिल को छू जाती हैं।
The Prime Minister said the country heard the term Janta Curfew for the first time in March last year. It was an unprecedented example of discipline, and generations to come will certainly feel proud of that. He said people expressed gratitude and respect for the Corona warriors by applauding them and lighting a lamp.
इस महान देश की महान प्रजा की महाशक्ति का अनुभव देखिए। जनता कर्फ्यू पूरे विश्व के लिए एक अचरज बन गया था। अनुशासन का ये अभूतपूर्व उदाहरण था। आने वाली पीढ़ियां इस एक बात को लेकर के जरूर गर्व करेगी। उसी प्रकार से हमारे कोरोना वॉरियर्स के प्रति सम्मान, आदर, थाली बजाना, ताली बजाना, दिया जलाना, आपको अंदाज नहीं है कोरोना वॉरियर्स के दिल को कितना छू गया था वो। और वही तो कारण है जो पूरी साल भर वे बिना थके, बिना रुके, डटे रहे, देश के एक एक नागरिक की जान बचाने के लिए जी जान से जूझते रहे।
Mr. Modi recalled that the Amrit Mahotsav to mark 75 years of independence began from the day of Dandi Yatra and will continue till the 15th of August 2023. He urged the citizens to bring to the fore the saga of freedom fighters and the historical and cultural importance of a place during the Amrit Mahotsav to connect the country.
कितना बड़ा सुखद संयोग है। आज मुझे 75वीं मन की बात करने का अवसर, और यही महीना आजादी के 75 साल के अमृत महोत्सव के आरंभ का महीना। अमृत महोत्सव दांडी यात्रा के दिन से शुरू हुआ था और 15 अगस्त 2023 तक चलेगा। अमृत महोत्सव से जुड़े कार्यक्रम पूरे देश में लगातार हो रहे हैं। अलग अलग जगहों से इन कार्यक्रमों की तस्वीरें, जानकारियां लोग शेयर कर रहे हैं।
The Prime Minister said the Women's Day in March has been significant. It came at a time when many women players set new records in their name and won medals. He cited the example of Mithali Raj, who became the first Indian woman cricketer to have made 10,000 runs in international cricket. Mr. Modi also lauded India's excellent performance at the ISSF World Cup shooting in New Delhi, where it topped the gold medals tally. The Prime Minister called for novelty and modernization in all the fields of life, otherwise it becomes a burden at times. In this context, he told that modernization in the field of Indian agriculture is the need of the hour. Mr. Modi highlighted that the lighthouses are unique in terms of tourism and their grand structures have always been centers of attraction for people. He said to promote tourism, 71 lighthouses have been identified in India. The Prime Minister also paid homage to the hard-working lightkeepers on the 10 years of the horrifying tsunami that hit Japan and the one that hit India in 2004. Speaking about the program Man Ki Baat, which completed 75 episodes, Mr. Modi thanked all the listeners for making it a success, enriching it and staying connected.
इस बार जब मैं मन की बात के लिए जो भी चिट्ठियां आती हैं, कमेंट्स आते हैं, भांति भांति के इनपुट मिलते हैं, जब उनकी तरफ नजर दौड़ा रहा था तो कई लोगों ने एक बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण बात याद की। माई गॉव पर आर्यन श्री, बेंगलुरु से अनूप राव, नोएडा से देवेश, ठाणे से सुजीत, इन सभी ने कहा, मोदी जी इस बार मन की बात का 75वां एपिसोड है, इसके लिए आपको बधाई। मैं आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं कि आपने इतनी बारीक नजर से मन की बात को फॉलो किया है और आप जुड़े रहे हैं। ये मेरे लिए बहुत ही गर्व का विषय है, आनंद का विषय है। मेरी तरफ से भी आपका तो धन्यवाद है ही है। मन की बात के सभी श्रोताओं का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarked upon a mission to reach out to most of the citizens of the vast country through his Man Ki Baat program on All India Radio. As television is not widely available to all the people of India, especially in isolated rural regions. The first episode of the hugely popular radio program was aired on the 3rd of October 2014.
कुछ अच्छा करने का निर्णय करने के साथ हम सब प्रारंभ करें। आज मेरी शुभ शुरुआत है। जैसा जैसा मन में आता जाएगा, भविष्य में जरूर आपसे बातें करता रहूंगा। आज जो बातें मेरे मन में आई, वो बातें मैंने आपको कही है। फिर जब मिलूंगा, रविवार को मिलूंगा, सुबह 11 बजे मिलूंगा। लेकिन मुझे विश्वास है कि हमारी यात्रा बनी रहेगी, आपका प्यार बना रहेगा। आप भी मेरी इस बात सुनने के बाद अगर मुझे कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, जरूर मेरे तक पहुंचा दीजिए। मुझे अच्छा लगेगा। मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा आज आप सबसे बातें करने के लिए। और रेडियो का ऐसा सरल माध्यम है कि मैं दूर दूर तक पहुंच पाऊंगा, गरीब से गरीब घर तक पहुंच जाऊंगा। मेरे देश की ताकत गरीब की झोपड़ी में है, मेरी देश की ताकत गांव में है, मेरी देश की ताकत माताओं, बहनों, नौजवानों में है, मेरी देश की ताकत किसानों में है। मैं आप ही के भरोसे भारत आगे बढ़ेगा, ये विश्वास व्यक्त करता हूं।
In Sunday's Hotspot section, we bring you a discussion on the PM's Man Ki Baat program, which marks its 75th episode. Political analyst Ashok Tandon and Nilab Srivastava take a look at the high points from Man Ki Baat.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today spoke to the country as part of his monthly Man Ki Baat radio address. We all know that the Prime Minister started this program since his government took the reins at the center in 2014. And the Man Ki Baat is about many things, many issues, topics, contemporary and historical times. And if I can speak in the words of the Prime Minister, what he spoke today was about, it is about multitude of subjects. An important milestone today was achieved today in this series of the radio address because it was the 75th address of the Prime Minister. He spoke about it also. He mentioned that a number of listeners of this radio program has written to him, underlining that this is the 75th series. And if I can just bring into perspective the backgrounder to this, the first of the edition of the Man Ki Baat was aired or relayed on October 3, 2014. Tandon Sahab, we know Prime Minister speaks about a number of subjects. It is about what the community is doing. It is about what our contemporary times or challenges of the times are. Today also was no exception. The PM spoke about the Amrit Mahotsav or the 75th year of Indian independence that we are looking forward to. He spoke about COVID. He spoke about different initiatives people taking across the country. What kind of things have you seen across over the time since Man Ki Baat was introduced?
See, the first episode of Man Ki Baat was started on Vijayadashmi, and its 75th episode is completing on the Holika Dahan day. So it is all the more significant that how important the Indian festivals are. But if I may recall, when the Man Ki Baat was started, I think the skeptics thought that it would be a monologue. Prime Minister would be literally, in a way, addressing the nation, and it will be a very short-lived experience. But now today when we look back, it has not been a monologue. It is not even just addressed to the nation, but it has developed into a dialogue, a two-way interaction with the people. And initially, even we thought that PM will be talking only about his Man Ki Baat. But over the years, now we have seen it is more Man Ki Baat of the people of India, cross-section of the society and people working in different walks of life. It is their Mann Ki Baat which is now getting reflected in this program. Of course, Prime Minister has very rightly said that it was an amazing experience. And the kind of interaction we had, the kind of feedback he used to get, the kind of involvement of the people, the way people have been contributing to the nation building in their own small way, all these things has really, in fact, made him, enriched him also, apart from the benefit he and his government got from the ideas which people have given, the innovative, and whether it is science and technology, whether it is medicine, whether it is agriculture, whether it is forest, whether it is rivers, whether it is water, in all aspects, the Prime Minister got enriched from the experience which people shared with him. So therefore, and the way people got connected with it, and they continue to remain connected. It has not been a jarring experience. It has never bored the people. And as the Prime Minister said, that it has been Vaicharik Yatra, a journey of ideas. And the journey of ideas is continuing. And the way, as we lit one candle from another, how we enlighten the whole world. All these things. He said a lot of talent has come before the country, and also it has helped in promoting India's cultural heritage, India's diversity. That he said we will be celebrating 75 years of India's independence also. So when completing 75 episodes of Mann Ki Baat today, and now in the run-up to the 75th year of independence, we have to continue this journey which we have started, and through this journey we are going to start a series of activities in the run-up to 75th year of India's independence.
One of the important topics that he discussed today, Mr. Tandon, was about the coronavirus pandemic. We have seen that it is now 1 year that the pandemic struck the world and also India, and it is still raging. And the Prime Minister mentioned very specifically about the vaccination drive that is ongoing in the country. And he made it a point to say that he has seen many photographs, and many people have mentioned that how people over the age of 100 years are taking the vaccine jab or the shot. And in the same breath, he asked the citizens not to let the guard down, because we're still into thick of it. Things are getting towards phase where we are getting into vaccination, but the numbers have risen in the last few months.
So he recalled the Janata curfew, which was imposed almost 1 year ago, and how people cooperated, how people observed the discipline. And it was actually the Janata curfew turned into a festival of discipline, which the entire world was watching with amazement, that how could people could be so disciplined that in one call of the Prime Minister, they could lit candles, they could beat the drill which people did, that they will blow the whistle, they will do some kind of a beating of stencils to show solidarity. And that 1 year ago, the Janata curfew, which demonstrated. And in fact, he said that was one thing which was a tribute to our frontline warriors, the Corona warriors. He said this one gesture on the part of the people of India that touched the chord with the hearts of our Corona warriors, whether they were doctors, nurses, paramedics, all those people were even on duty. And that was the spirit. That is why they got motivated to continue to serve the country in the height of pandemic. And that spirit has led us to, in a way, win this war against coronavirus. We are still in the process also. And then when it comes to development of vaccine, people are looking towards vaccine, and India has now developed its own vaccine. It is supplying vaccine to 76 countries, and India's vaccine campaign is the largest in the world. And the whole world is watching how the logistics of the vaccine program are successful with the cooperation of state government, with the cooperation of municipality, and with the cooperation of private hospitals. Everybody is engaged in this massive vaccination program. And then he said the kind of reports which are pouring in from different parts of the country are also amazing. People more than 100 year age are coming out, and not only they are getting vaccine, they are also putting up their pictures getting vaccine on social media, motivating others to go for vaccine. And the Prime Minister also said that everybody must not only campaign for vaccine, and he said, Dawai bhi or kadai bhi, that we have to be disciplined also, and we have to go for the vaccine. He quoted a couple of people who said this is a vaccine seva, is a basically vaccine service which we are doing. And so we have to make people aware about it. And then he quoted certain people, how they are participating in this awareness campaign for everybody to go for the vaccine. But at the end, again, he said that we have to be very careful. We have to observe all the protocols and maintain distance, and also at the same time continue to do our normal duties.
This Mann Ki Baat address was in the month of March. We very correctly know that March is also a day where we celebrate the fortitude and the accomplishments of some of the bravest and exceptional women across the world. March 8th is known as the International Women's Day. Prime Minister spoke about it. A lady from Indore has written to him that we talk about so many achievements. One achievement of a very renowned cricketer and a lady, someone who has achieved so many laurels for India, Mithali Raj, and she has completed 10,000 runs, which includes only 7,000 only in the ODIs. So Prime Minister mentioned about the achievement of some women sportspersons and women in general from the country who have achieved numerous accolades or numerous awards within short span of time. He also spoke about the international ISSF World Cup shooting that is being held in Delhi, and so many women have got gold medals and have brought laurels for the country. He also spoke about PV Sindhu, who has won the BWF Swiss Open Super 300 tournament.
Every profession, whether it is sports, and in fact he said the sports is now emerging as the first priority as far as profession is concerned among girls, women. They are choosing sports as their first priority, and that is what is resulting into women achieving remarkable success in terms of medals, whether it is shooting, whether it is cricket, or in every sport. So women empowerment, tribute to women who have done remarkable job, was certainly a very, very significant aspect of today Mann Ki Baat. But the Prime Minister also, he talked about the Amrit Mahotsav, which is already currently underway. And then he said, when we reach 15th August 2023, through the Amrit Mahotsav, a lot of activities are being undertaken. And this will, in fact, he linked Amrit Mahotsav with the Atmanirbhar Bharat concept also. In that context, he drew attention. A very significant aspect was during his speech at the Maritime Summit, the development of lighthouses as tourist attraction. And then he talked about the lighthouse in Chennai and Mahabalipuram, and the one which has an elevator, solar panel also. They are now developing into museums. And then he quoted somebody, Guru Prasad from Chennai, and also said the unique lighthouse. And he said, Prime Minister said the 71 lighthouses across the country have now been developed as tourist attraction, amphitheater, children park, museum, and they are now emerging as great centers of tourist attraction. He paid tribute to lighthouse employees who lost their life during the 2004 tsunami in Andaman and Nicobar and Tamil Nadu. And in that context, he also made a passing reference 10 years of the tsunami in Japan. So paying tribute to those who lost their life has always been the hallmark of Prime Minister, whether it is natural calamity or certain other aspects.
Atmanirbhar Bharat, or the Self-Reliant India theme, the government has been carrying this forward like a flagship scheme. We have talked about it in the past. You mentioned about what he spoke about, this centered around this theme, so many activities. It was also about manufacturing toys indigenously. We are looking forward to develop and reduce our imports in this context, and waste to value also, what Prime Minister mentioned, as to how start his own entrepreneurship and probably look forward to a bright future with a good income and all. And also on the second part of it was about the kind of different things that we can do to support the kind of communities that we live in. So I think Atmanirbhar Bharat and the activities centered around it are always the part of Mr. Modi's Mann Ki Baat programs over the years that we have seen.
He said that in the context of Atmanirbhar Bharat, he first emphasized modernization of agriculture sector, innovation and modernization. And the new avenues for employment they are generating. And along with the traditional agriculture techniques, we have to do innovation, go for modern technique. And it was in that context he talked about the bee farming. And he said that he named it as a sweet revolution. And in that context, he also talked of the bee farming being done in Darjeeling. And he said the honey is in great demand in West Bengal. Then he talked about the Sundarban organic honey in Gujarat. Banaskantha honey, he said, is very popular. It is being exported and it is in great demand. Haryana, Yamunanagar, he said, bee farming is taking 1.25 lakh tons of honey production is taking place in India. Quite a lot of it is being exported. And then he said the bee wax also is being used in pharma, in textile, in many other sectors. So that is the entire thing, modernization of agriculture and diversification of the agriculture is part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. And then India's Ayurveda and other natural form of medicines, all these things which are becoming popular, including reform in agriculture, are all part of India's Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. Then he, immediately talked about the sparrows. He talked of somebody in Benares who is doing a great job in promoting, because sparrows are now disappearing. We don't, in the cities, we don't hear that chirping noise of the sparrows. And he said the national, environment and all that. Again, then he went to Kendrapada in Orissa, where the high tide threat is causing problem, and that natural issue has to be tackled, and how people are doing their job. So in Paradip district also. So the greatness of the Man Ki Baat is that PM would be going across the country in different parts of the country where people, and average people, normal citizens are engaged in doing wonderful job, which is the beauty of it.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, Mr. Tandon.
Thank you.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
3 steps to stay protected and stay safe from COVID-19. Wear face mask, 2 gaz ki duri to maintain social distancing, maintain hand and face hygiene.
India has crossed the milestone of administering over 6 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses. Continuing with its largest vaccination drive in the world, the nation administered over 15 lakh doses yesterday till late Saturday. India is one of the fastest countries in the world to achieve the 6 crore mark in a short span of only 71 days. Made in India COVID-19 vaccines have landed in Denmark for the UN peacekeeping personnel on Sunday. A gift of 2 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses from India was shipped to Denmark. Under Secretary General for UN Peace Operations Jean-Pierre Lacroix said India is long-standing and steadfast supporter of the UN peacekeeping, as he thanked the government and the people of India. He said they have generously donated COVID-19 vaccines to benefit the peacekeeping personnel and enable them to continue their life-saving work in a safe manner.
Amid a fresh surge in corona cases in the country, the Bangladesh government extended the closure of primary schools and kindergartens till May the 22nd to protect students from the infection. The students have been advised to stay at home and abide by health instructions issued by the government to contain the spread of the coronavirus pandemic in the country. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina urged people to wear masks and maintain health guidelines in view of the fresh surge in corona cases. She instructed the authorities to take prompt measures to check the new wave of the COVID-19 infection. She said that schools, colleges and universities will reopen after Eid in view of the fresh surge in the infections. Bangladesh Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal on Sunday warned of stern action against people carrying out attacks on government establishments and private property in the country. He said that the government has dealt with the unruly elements with patience, but now the government will deal with them with iron hands. Reacting to the violent incidents reported from several parts of Bangladesh since Friday, the minister accused Hifazat-e-Islam for instigating madrasa students to indulge in violent attacks. The hardline Islamist organization had called the strike to protest the police action against its activities in Chattogram and Brahmanbaria districts on Saturday. This is All India Radio giving you the world news.
Welcome back to the world news. Myanmar witnessed the bloodiest day in the ongoing protest against the military government. According to reports, at least 114 protesters were killed across the country on Saturday. The killings came on the day when Myanmar Army Chief Senior General Aw Min Lang attended a parade to mark the Armed Forces Day. Agency reports say the dead include 40 people from Myanmar's second largest city, Mandalay, and 27 in the commercial hub of Yangon. The dead included at least 4 children. The protests have continued all across Myanmar for the seventh week since the military ousted the civilian government led by Aung San Suu Kyi on Feb the 1st. The US, the United Kingdom and the European Union officials have condemned the violence. However, China and Russia have not joined the criticism. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he is deeply shocked by the violence. UN Special Rapporteur Tom Andrews has called for an international emergency summit. In Indonesia, a suspected suicide bomb attack outside a Catholic church in Makassar city has left at least 14 people injured. Police said an explosion happened as 2 people tried to enter the church on Palm Sunday, the first day of Easter. A destroyed motorbike and body parts were found at the scene, and the police said the 2 attackers had died. Suez Canal salvage teams are alternating between dredging and tugging on Sunday to dislodge a massive container ship blocking the busy waterway. The Suez Canal officials said that some progress has been made to rescue a giant container stuck across the Suez Canal, and more tugboats were joining the effort on Sunday. And attempts were to dislodge on Saturday's high tide failed. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has ordered preparations to lighten the load to the stranded ship. That would involve transferring some containers to another vessel or to the canal bank. Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press.
The Washington Post reports that Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi orders preparations for unloading vessel blocking Suez Canal. The Guardian says that UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has made an orchestrated gesture of defiance to Beijing by meeting a cross-party group of MPs and peers sanctioned by China for their stance on human rights abuses in Xinjiang. The Sydney Morning Herald writes that China sanctions US, Canadian officials in escalation over Xinjiang. The Global and Mail reports that police in the capital of Belarus arrested more than 100 people who assembled for a protest march Saturday to call for the resignation of the country's authoritarian president. South China Morning Post writes that Philippine fighter jet flies over Chinese ports in the South China Sea. And Khalij Times reports that a group of entrepreneurs in Dubai is hoping to help people who lost their jobs to COVID-19 with a 5-week skills improvement program under the initiative Finding Light Now. Prashant Kumar Sinha for AIR World News.
In cricket, India beat England by 7 runs and clinched the 3-match series 2-1 at the Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Pune tonight. Chasing the victory target of 330 runs, England made 322 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in the allotted 50 overs, with Sam Curran smashing an unbeaten 95 off 83 balls. He was declared the player of the match. Johnny Bairstow was the player of the series. Earlier put into bat, India were all out for 329 in 48.2 overs. A quick look at the headlines once again. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi appeals to eligible people to take COVID-19 vaccine, says it is a matter of honor that India is running world's largest vaccination program. India supplies over 2 lakh made in India COVID-19 vaccines to Denmark for UN peacekeeping personnel. Bangladesh Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal warns of stern action against people carrying out attacks on government establishments and private property. Salvage teams taking measures to dislodge massive container ship blocking the Suez Canal. And in cricket, India win the ODI series against England 2-1. India is celebrating the 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Before we end, let us listen to his favorite bhajan, Vaishnav Jan, by artists from Finland. Vaishnav Jana to tene kahiye pir parai jani re para tuke upakar kare toye. And with that, we end this bulletin. See you at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.